to the Town of Bernardston Select Board meeting for Wednesday, January 21st, 2026. We'll call the meeting to order at 6 o'clock p.m. And just to note that this meeting is being broadcast live on BNC TV and live streamed on YouTube. To find BNC TV on YouTube, go to youtube.com and search for Bernardston-Northfield Community Television. This meeting will be available for later viewing by following the link at thetownofbernardston.org. You can also watch channel 1075 on your Comcast dial in Bernardston. And we'll start tonight with the warrants. I would entertain a motion for the payroll warrant in the amount of $67,262.96.
So moved.
Second.
Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
I would entertain a motion for the vendor warrant in the amount of $69,354.50.
So moved.
Second.
Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Meeting minutes. I would entertain a motion for the regular meeting minutes of January 7th, 2026.
So moved.
Second.
Any corrections or deletions to that? All those in favor?
Aye.
And I didn't vote on that, I wasn't at that meeting. Calendar and announcements. The Board of Assessors will meet on Thursday, January 22nd at 3:15 p.m. at Town Hall. The Art of Not Aging, a photo and art reception will be held at the Bernardston Senior Center on Monday, January 26th from 4 to 6 p.m. The event will feature music by Ron Smith's North Mount Herman's Jazz Combo, followed by an artist reception featuring Bernardston Senior Center's artwork, photography, quilts, and so much more. The Pioneer Valley Regional School District School Committee is scheduled to vote on the MSBA feasibility study tomorrow, Thursday, January 22nd at 6 o'clock p.m. at the Pioneer Library. This is a significant decision for all three member towns, and it's important for residents to understand the implications of a yes vote by the school committee. The feasibility study required by the MSBA, the three towns are being asked to borrow $1.2 million to fund the study, while the MSBA may reimburse approximately 58% of the cost. The towns must still authorize the full $1.2 million in debt. A yes vote by the school committee commits the towns to that borrowing unless it's later disapproved at a town meeting. Under Massachusetts General Law, Regional School District School Committee may vote to borrow money for capital needs with a 2/3 affirmative vote of the full committee. If the school committee votes yes, the following process is triggered. 1, within 7 days, the school committee must send formal notice of the borrowing vote to the select boards of all member towns. Each town then has 60 days from that date, from the date of the school committee vote, to hold a town meeting for the specific purpose of voting to disapprove the borrowing. If no town meeting is held within the 60-day window, the borrowing is automatically approved by the town. To disapprove, a majority of registered voters present at town meeting must vote against the borrowing. If a town meeting is held but the borrowing is not disapproved, the borrowing stands. After the 60-day period ends, and assuming no town has voted to disapprove, the school committee is legally authorized to incur the debt. Residents should be aware of these obligations and the timeline that follows a yes vote. We encourage the public to attend the school committee meeting, listen to the discussion, and stay informed. The decisions made at this stage will shape future options for our schools and our towns. The Pioneer Valley Regional School District Budget Subcommittee will meet on Wednesday, January 28th at 6 p.m. at the Pioneer Library. The Bernardston Finance Committee and Select Board will meet on Monday, January 26th at 5:30 p.m. at the Bernardston Fire Station Conference Room, 167 Northfield Road in Bernardston. The Council on Aging will hold their monthly meeting on Tuesday, February 3rd at 9:30 a.m. at the Bernardston Senior Center. The Planning Board will be meeting. The Planning Board meeting will be held on Tuesday, February 3rd at 4 p.m. at the Town Hall. Any citizens' concerns not already on the agenda? You guys are already on the agenda. No? Okay, first appointment. Pioneer, come on up. Welcome. How's everybody tonight?
Good, thank you. Warm.
Yeah, I know it is.
It's warm in here.
I don't think
Isn't
I've
that
ever seen
nice?
those doors shut.
Do Do you mind if Brenda sits with us?
No,
I
that's
just
fine.
noticed that
That's
she
fine.
wasn't on the list.
That's okay.
Yeah, my apologies, I
Not
didn't
a
know.
problem.
No,
Yep,
we put it out to anyone in the school committee
Yeah,
to join us.
That's
Sure.
fine.
So,
If you want, just start with Patricia maybe and just say who you
Yeah,
are and
yeah,
what you are so people
That'd be
listening
great.
can see it.
camera?
It's everywhere.
Everywhere. Except for the ladies.
Hi.
Patricia
That's
Kinsella,
probably the closest one.
Will be that one.
Patricia Kinsella, Pioneer Superintendent.
Taffy Bassett-Fox, Director of Finance and Operations.
Melissa Gary, school committee chair and resident of Bernardston.
Raina Dastu, I'm the vice chair of the school committee and a resident of Northfield.
Well, welcome.
Thank you.
So do you have anything you want to say to start with, or you just want to go into the questions we sent you, or?
We're delighted to be here.
Absolutely. Thank you for having
Yeah,
us.
glad you make it.
Thank you.
So-
No, I think we could probably dive right into, is there anything, I didn't know if the questions were ordered in a certain way,
No,
if there
no.
was any way you wanted to go about it? No?
I mean, I can read each question right off if
Yeah.
you want, or I don't know if
Just
you
read
have
it.
anything
Yeah,
prepared
and
for
I have
yourselves or
right
not.
Yeah, here's the questions right now. No, I mean, I can start with kind of a general overview about the feasibility, the
Perfect,
MSBA
that'd
and
be perfect.
feasibility. I think you did a great job outlining what the feasibility study would be. I cannot speak on behalf of the school committee yet on what our vote is going to be. We had a really lively discussion last school committee meeting that is queuing us up for the discussion tomorrow night. It is clear that we know where the town officials stand because of your letters to the state. So we know where you are coming from. And then now the district has to discuss knowing the information from town officials, the information we have from the MSBA, if we think it's in the best interest of the district, while also thinking about our residents. So a lot of the questions, we can get into the weeds and kind of the nitty gritty. We can go, question 2, did the district inform the MSBA that the elementary school buildings are town owned other than district owned? Yes. Yeah, of course we did. The first question about the 1.2 million MSBA feasibility study, we were hoping that we wouldn't have to ask to incur debt. But then the finances changed with the health insurance increase. And so that put us into now looking at, do we want to do a debt exclusion? And to be perfectly honest, I have no idea where this vote's gonna go. Like I, from listening to kind of how you outlined it, it seemed like the tone was that it was a shoo-in, that it's a yes. And I can say, I don't necessarily have a feeling one way or the other. I think that tomorrow night's going to be a lively discussion.
Is it televised?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
it's always televised.
I'm
Yep.
just
Yep.
making sure so
Yep.
people
No,
wanna.
of course, yes, yep. It's funny because there's very few recordings I go back and look, but sometimes I go back and I'm always pleasantly surprised at the number of views that our meetings have, and we'll get emails from people after, hey, I saw the meeting, I've got this question, or you said this at the meeting, what did you mean, or what?
Right.
So,
good.
yes, they are televised
good.
and people are watching them, which is really good. Questions 3 and 4 about the MSBA providing guidance on allocating feasibility study costs in a regional district with town-owned buildings. Again, we're going to talk about that, tomorrow. We were following the MSBA format that is statewide, that goes with every region. So every regional district goes through the same thing. And so we'll be talking about this much more in depth at our meeting. I don't know.
I think some of the question around that is the confusion, at least on our end,
Yeah.
of Northfield Elementary being the school that was invited into the program. and now Bernardston is being asked to pay over the 5-year note
Yeah.
approximately $235,000
Yeah,
toward a school that's not in our town.
yeah, right,
And I
right,
understand that at the end of the
Right.
day, because Patricia did a good job explaining it, that
yeah,
they may look at all of the schools at the end of the day, but when you read what came back from the state,
you're
I have a
right,
hard time telling my residents to support a $235,000 expenditure when they're going to look at the Northfield Elementary School.
yeah,
End of the day, they may look at Bernardston, but
yeah, yeah,
that's my biggest confusion over that whole
Totally.
study.
totally, yep, and we hear that. Absolutely. Yeah, so I think that, I mean, unless there's other MSBA or feasibility questions,
Anybody have any?
the majority of it is gonna be, you know, all discussed and voted on tomorrow. And then, like you said, if it is an a yes vote, then that means the school district feels it's in the school districts, right? Like,
Yep.
and I will also say, it's oftentimes, I think, confusing for town officials or other town residents that when we are elected as school committee members, we're elected as district representatives, not a Bernardston representative. So when we vote tomorrow, we're looking at what is in the best district of the, what's in the best interest of the district,
Correct.
you know? And sometimes that
That's a good point.
conflicts
Yep.
Right.
with
That's true.
what isn't. So I'm wearing two hats, right? I'm wearing a hat of school committee member, thinking the district, and then Bernardston resident paying my tax bill, right? And
Right.
so those, you know, combine.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Okay, so fiscal sustainability. My question for the first one is, did you want to go through every single budget line that is increasing and decreasing, or?
Is this the venue for that?
Probably not.
No.
So that's
I would say
what-
the bigger hitters that, for this question here, are when we know the budget's having to go up and we understand the reasons why. A big piece of it is health insurance. We get
Yes.
that. We're in the same boat. So we are cognizant of that. But is this the year where we want to go and add another maintenance person? Is this the year we should go and add the librarian? And my question to that is, who's been covering the library since then?
Yeah.
And what are those staff members going to be doing if they no longer have to be covering it?
Right.
I just wish in a year where we're all under the gun for, let's face it, our health insurance costs are doing the same thing
Right,
yours are doing.
right.
And we pay the school, we pay the FERCog, we pay the solid waste district, all as part of their health insurances as
Right.
well through our budget. If we could be a little more cognizant of adding positions
Yeah,
in a year where we're taking it from everywhere at the town's end of it. I mean, just maybe a second thought on some of those added positions.
yeah,
We fully understand the students need to be supported and we want the
Right.
students supported.
right.
But, and believe me, I'd be the first one fighting with you for a maintenance person
Right,
to work with
Right.
Gretchen, because
Right.
that's one of those line items that drives us nuts.
Yeah.
I mean,
Exactly.
Right.
yeah,
And we
Yeah.
feel you, but maybe this isn't the year to do it.
right, yeah,
Just the
Yeah.
thought. That's
Yeah.
just my 2 cents on that.
Yeah.
I don't know if
Agree
We-
completely.
No, it's,
yeah,
anybody else has anything
With-
along those lines instead of going through.
yeah,
And I'm not really not interested in every single line item, but there are some that are out of range from everybody else. I'm looking at one that's a 21.55% increase.
And what's that one?
that was the one that you brought up that was brought up at our budget subcommittee meeting?
It probably was,
Same one,
not by
yep.
me, but by someone
Yep.
that I wanted
Is
brought
that
up
Gretchen's?
here,
No.
Yeah.
because I
Yes.
want the residents to hear
There's a
this.
difference.
It's a different, that's not
It's a
Gretchen.
payroll administrator?
Payroll administrator, and it's a 21.55% increase.
Yep.
And I think that the residents deserve an explanation of that.
Do I address that?
Yes.
What, I don't know
So
what
do
the
we,
protocol
yeah, do we,
is here.
right,
Go for
are
it.
we having a budget?
Yeah.
Not to, I'm just
We
curious.
can bring up a few of them, but we don't want to get into going through 30 line items.
Yeah.
No.
specific. The school committee meetings are better for that, I think, and they're televised too.
I'm happy to address that, but
I
only
mean, maybe
at
just a
your-
couple of them, that's one of them we could ask.
Well,
'Cause
it
that's
is
a-
one of the questions that we put on the list, that's why I was prepared.
If you're prepared to answer
Yeah.
that, I don't
Yeah.
want to put you on the spot, but.
Sure,
No, we're-
and feel free to, hi Jane,
Hi,
thanks for the question.
to the front, to the.
Yeah, you should
camera
face
now.
this,
Yeah.
yeah.
That'll pick you up too.
I'm new.
That's okay. It's all good.
So for our payroll person, we eliminated a position in the business office that was an assistant position. And when we did that, we asked our payroll administrator to absorb those tasks. And in doing that, we raised her salary. And we did that by using the money that we had, some of the money that we had saved from that person.
Gotcha.
So it was a net reduction
Thank you.
in cost.
And that's not, that position being eliminated is not reflected in the budget.
No, not requested.
You didn't list it as to what they got in '26, and they're gone in '27. So we can't see that.
I think that's payroll HR office assistant. Is that the per diem that's no longer in the budget this year?
That's correct. It's the,
That's what the payroll office.
that's the last line in the business finance section there. You'll see it's zeroed out for FY '27.
So to clarify for people at home, that position was listed in last year's budget, and it is listed in the draft budget with a 0 for this coming year.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Makes
You're welcome.
sense.
You're welcome.
Questions, Roy?
No. Good.
Good?
The second question, contingency plans exist. So with the absence of our budget chair, who is not available, Raina and I are meeting with Patricia and Taffy on Friday afternoon to look at, under the microscope, much clearer with creating a 3.0 budget. So looking at all of the different scenarios out there.
Nobody from the budget committee is meeting with you that day?
So we're hearing, so not from the budget committee. There's a couple questions they have that they're looking for guidance to bring to the budget committee. So they wanted to talk to the admin board basically, and then bring some to the budget committee.
And the current chair, I think she's
And
out
the
of the
current
country.
chair is out of the
I
country.
know she's
Yeah.
out of town, but
Yeah.
I also know that
Yep.
the committee's pretty active, and I thought
Yep.
they might want to be
Yep.
involved in that discussion.
Yep. Yep. Cost saving measures, do you wanna do?
Sure.
Do you wanna go down the line as we're going?
Yeah,
or
just
what-
give
Sure.
a brief answer.
Unless there's
somebody
specific
else brings
ones
up
you
a
really
question.
wanna talk about.
Okay, so we have had some cost-saving measures. As we talked about already, we did reduce the librarian last year. We reduced the the payroll assistant position. We've gone through special education services, reduced any staffing that that weren't in services in the IEPs. And we did quite a bit of non-staff line reductions when the health insurance went up.
Okay.
And for any more cuts, we definitely, as Melissa had talked about, we need school committee guidance on further cuts.
All right. Look, the next one.
So we have not proposed any consolidation, restructuring, or eliminating of any programs for this coming year. Again, I will just say, because it's the school committee's budget, we need direction
Okay.
from the budget sub and the school committee.
And the next one's always a tough one. I mean,
Yeah.
I know there's been
Right.
opportunities that have been tried in the past with,
Mm-hmm.
do we do our own program, and I'm gonna say the wrong words, for special ed type
Yeah.
services.
Right.
No, that's right.
Right,
We tried doing it in district, thinking we might be able to do it a little bit cheaper.
yep,
At the end of the day, it's a very expensive program to run if other schools aren't sending students in this way,
yep,
because that gets very costly too. It's probably a big balancing act. I know we've tried things like that,
Yeah.
both under Patricia and slightly before Patricia. They
Right.
tried different things like that.
Yeah.
I think that may be what people were wondering about in regards to this. I mean, purchasing's another one. We always talk about that, like the Bernardston-Northfield did receive a grant to look at things like that we could do jointly. Is there anything in schools in the county that are looking at things like that, you know?
Yeah, so, I mean, as of right now, we do use the state purchasing program. We're part of a fuel oil bill.
Yeah.
Cosmescus Transportation comes through a bid. I believe we have bid for school supplies and some custodial supplies. So we, in purchasing, we do work with other districts.
Yeah, and the busing's a crazy one because you get,
There's no competition.
Right.
what a waste of everybody's time, right?
And on top of the lack of competition for yellow school buses, I did not realize until our most recent, whatever the transportation snafu was, that Vanpool, which provides our small van services for students with special needs, has been subsumed into the Cosmescus company.
We just heard
course it is.
last Friday we learned about
Yeah.
that.
So,
Great.
yeah.
It's a good business opportunity. I'll buy a bunch of buses. And
Yeah.
There
bunch
you
of
go.
Yeah.
Just the van part of it.
Yeah, just the van part.
Yep.
And I think the next question is just driven by, you know, school-related grants for technology-related costs.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Is
Yeah.
there, I mean,
Like-
we're hearing through green communities type stuff, I look at Chris because she's on the committee with me, that schools have different pots of money that we don't generally get to see because we're not in the school
Yeah,
end of it.
right.
Is there other opportunities that just pertain to schools in the Commonwealth in regards to technology? I mean, you haven't had a capital one in a few years, Jane, right, that they've asked for a significant hit, but we know that's got to be coming, and we know there's a line item to start
Right.
the replacement of the Chromebooks.
Yeah.
Right.
So
And maybe
we
there's
are,
not.
no, we already have, so our Director of Technology already has a multi-year, it's called a replacement cycle, right? The expectation is that the Chromebooks in the middle school will last X years. And so projecting out, don't ask me the number, 5 years out, 3 years out. And Chromebooks are actually pretty cheap. Chromebooks plus a good solid case. And we charge families. When a student, accidental breakage is one thing, but if it looks like a student hasn't taken good care, we charge the families. No problem doing that. We pay attention to every state grant that comes out for any type of project. Taffy gets notification of all grant opportunities. We were part of the FERCOG, or the Franklin County Solid Waste Management program to manage e-waste, which saved us thousands of dollars, and that no longer exists. So we have to pay to take care of e-waste. I'd like to share, if I may, an example of how we scrutinize technology costs. In development of the FY25 budget, we reviewed every single piece of instructional technology software. And some of those can be thousands of dollars a year, some are cheaper. I actually had us pull every single one and records for every single one. We looked at the number of classrooms that were using every type of software, and within those classrooms, how many kids in the classrooms were using it and how many times on average per year. And by gathering that data, we realized we were over-purchasing instructional software, and we greatly reduced the instructional software that we were using. So I think you keep hearing this refrain. We're trying really hard to control costs,
Yes.
including in technology.
And some of these are redundant questions at the
Yeah.
school committee too. What we get a different demographic that watches this
Yeah.
meeting. That's
Yeah.
why.
Sure.
Yep.
It may seem like we're repeating it, but that's
Yeah.
why.
Okay. Yep.
Those are the cost. The next question ties into what Patricia just said, cost saving measures in the last 5 years, looking at how many students are being affected with certain softwares.
Which kind of goes with the next one a little
Right.
bit too.
How's the district evaluate and report on effectiveness of cost reduction efforts? Well, in the ways you just said.
Yeah.
Do you want to add the other?
Yeah, I do. Just so everyone understands, besides the fact that I supply financial reports to the school committee every month so that they can review where things are. They are also shared with our fiscal overseer, and then they get shared with the commissioner every month. So my stuff gets looked at, lots, which is great. We also have, end of the year reporting as well. Looks at every cent. So we have lots of eyes, which is great.
And that ties into the next one. What metrics are used to assess financial efficiency because you have so much oversight?
We do, and we're having, our auditors are coming to the school committee tomorrow night, and that's one of our big metrics of how we're doing.
You should add that the school districts are required to do that audit every year. By the state. State requires
Yes, they
school
do.
districts to do the audit.
Yes, they do.
Everybody should know.
It's a good sanity
Yep,
check.
thank you.
We get the same thing. It's a good sanity check to know we're doing it right or wrong.
Absolutely.
Where we're missing something.
And, maybe it will help residents to know an audit is expensive.
Oh, very.
So this
Oh,
year's
yeah.
audit is $28,000.
Yeah.
And our audits in the past few years have been excellent.
Yeah, we're right
We've
there
gotten
too with
good,
that same kind of cost. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
I-
money.
It's
yeah.
crazy.
It's crazy money.
We need to go into transportation and audit it.
Yeah, yeah. No, you're right. You're
Start
right.
our
Buy the
own
buses, you do
Start
the
our own
audit.
list.
That's right.
I might add that in terms of measuring our financial efficiency, we keep a careful eye on how other local districts are doing, and we all know everybody's reading the Recorder and the Hampshire Gazette and Mass Live. We're keeping a running document with links to stories of school budget discussions in the media. This is
Yeah, it's
the worst
crazy.
year of my 5 years. We keep track of projected increases in local districts, and we compare ourselves, right? And every district has different circumstances, but looking at how we are doing with all funds increases, local funds increases, and assessment increases in comparison to our neighboring districts is important. And this year, our district is the group convening everybody on a spreadsheet and inviting everybody to contribute their information.
Yeah.
We also look at very, very carefully at contracts. And so we will start negotiating early next year. Either at the end of this year or early next year is our last year of the 3-year contracts with both collective bargaining units. We scrutinize the contracts of local districts super carefully. And again, data and graphs that we make about those contracts are shared with other superintendents who find them helpful. We also compare administrator salaries, and we alluded to it at the last school committee meeting. Taffy and I took another look. We frequently use blue for local districts and green for Pioneer, and we have a series of graphs we'll share at next week's meeting. Pioneer for admin salaries is either in the middle or very low at the bottom of the Franklin County scale. So I want to assure residents and taxpayers that administrative salaries in our school district are not bloated. We are highly competitive.
And the next one, we briefly talked about some of that already, with the 15.5% proposed increase that we are bound by a 2.5% in town. We're trying to give our employees a 3%.
Absolutely.
We're up against it before we even buy any oil or pay the electric bill.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Never mind buy a new police cruiser or
Right.
fire truck or highway truck.
Right.
So
Right.
whatever we can do to
Oh, yeah.
save
Sure.
a couple pennies and
I
put it out a
understand.
couple years till we all can recover from this
Right.
health crisis, and it truly is a crisis in my
Right.
opinion,
Yep.
would be much appreciated by the towns because we
Yeah.
are bound by that.
Yep. Yep.
And 2.5 overrides aren't often successful in the area. Not going to say they never are, but
And maybe it would help for residents to know there's a really interesting data set on the DLR website for override information. Because I'm new in the area, right? I'm celebrating 6 years here next month. I'm in my 5th year in the district. But there is a DLS page, and I will share that link, where one can look at the history of overrides in every town, and whether it was tried or and how it fared, what it was for. And the overrides in our 3 towns are few and far
Right.
between for many, many years.
and they're usually
I'll
very
share that.
close votes
And there are
too.
overrides and there are exemptions.
Right.
Yes, there's the,
They're
yep.
not
Yeah,
confused.
debt excluded.
Thank you. I'll share in our
True.
follow-up email, we'll share a link.
Yep.
And I think if you flip it over,
Yep.
if you have the same document, we talked about some of this already. The adding of the positions. if we can consider pushing those down the road a little bit, or not. Has there been anything else added, really, besides
We've got this,
that?
I mean, we have that list that we went over today. It might help to say it out loud. I mean, you said them, but they're very clearly outlined here.
I'm not picking
The
up,
staffing, oh, so I'm
I've
sorry, I
got
was
it
in
right here.
operational, did I jump ahead?
No, you are fine.
Operational question?
Right, so what, and I don't think, nothing's been added since we have met about 2.0. So just so the public knows, we're looking at the reinstatement of our librarian at Pioneer, early childhood coordinator, our building subs, and those are subs that come to work every day and fill in where needed. And they are invaluable because it's hard to get subs on a whim. Yes?
And I'm going to say something about each one of those, if I may, before we go on.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I hear you.
Yep.
You asked earlier, so how are we managing at Pioneer without a librarian? Our librarian, so we hired a highly credentialed, experienced secondary librarian for school year 24-25 last year. People loved her. She did a great job. She began revitalizing the library, and we were clear in the job description when we were in the job posting that it needed to be a teaching role. And so that librarian was not only maintaining the collection and servicing students and teachers, she was teaching classes. We don't have that teacher teaching classes, which has placed a burden on the rest of the staff. The district is going to be proposing to school committee that Pioneer, as the secondary school, shift to a block schedule for the next school year. I think it'll be great for kids. Instead of carrying 7 classes at a time, they'll carry 4 classes at a time, which is much more humane. The math of it, however, means that kids will need to take an extra class per year because they'll take 4 classes and 4 classes. That's 8 versus the current year 7, which means we actually have to offer more classes. If we don't bring that librarian back, we're down. We will be losing access to certain Massachusetts school library data services if we don't have a librarian on staff. And that is a problem. It is hard to put ourselves forward as the academic school of choice for families in this area if we don't have a fully credentialed school librarian on site. We do have a fully credentialed, highly experienced school librarian who splits her time between the 2 elementary schools, but she cannot come up to Pioneer. We explored that. We thought, can we have Ms. Burke? But she's maintaining 2 collections.
Doesn't that cover the district, though, just as long as you have one within the district?
No,
Oh,
it does
my
not.
understanding
Under
was
there.
it did.
No, it does not. Brian,
Yeah.
great. I went back and checked. No, we need a librarian at the high school to have that. The early childhood coordinator, this is, again, and that position is not on the general fund's budget. We're keeping it in here under discussion because somewhere it has to be paid for. So our Director of Student Services kindly volunteered to take on as much of that job as she could this year. We're giving her a stipend. It's nowhere near what the full salary would have been. It is a problem for our staff not to have an early childhood coordinator. That person goes out and visits children who have special needs, who will turn 3 during the school year, who will have a right to attend or receive services from the district. That person has to go out to the daycare center, to the home, to this preschool to look at that child in situ and then make determinations about what would be best. They run the IEP meetings. Preschool in our public school district is the only section of our program that includes some fee-for-service work. It's a complicated, most folks, it's a very complicated endeavor, integrated preschool in a public school district. Not having someone in charge of it, we're doing fine, we're making it work, but it's not a good long-term strategy. So I want to make clear, like what, and the building subs Taffy has talked about. I'm just going to jump in.
Please
The
do.
addition of
It's
the
okay.
maintenance worker, I actually would like to talk about that more because our guesstimate is that they will save their salary easily. And so I hear you, like, is this the year we add it? We could not add it. All it means is we're going to be paying contractors way more per hour. Understandably, they're tradespeople, they earn their money. It just seems hard to pay some of those expensive bills when we could be following code. Not saying we have someone do huge electrical work, but we could. So just
Maybe that's the piece we're missing too, is to understand $60,000 salary, I think, is the number that was in
Yeah.
there.
Yes.
Not a huge amount of money for somebody, and Brian could speak to it better than I, that's a licensed plumber, or a licensed electrician, or a licensed HVAC person, that could do some of the things you're talking about and save you from calling a contractor. That, and I could see where you probably could justify somebody, depending on which type of background you got.
Exactly.
Let's get more info to
But if
share.
that's enough,
I don't,
dollar figure.
no.
It's not, I was just gonna say, 60 is not even enough to
Right.
entice someone.
Right.
Well, yeah, we're
So,
not
like,
looking, I mean, we're
Yeah.
not gonna
We
get a plumber
can't.
for 60 grand, not when, if they come to my house. It's
Right,
45 an hour.
right, that's,
And they aren't coming to my house, I have leaks. But,
and I fully understand, and I think
Yeah.
we all get it too, that Gretchen needs some help.
Yeah.
We can see that, we're just worried about this being the year to do it.
Right.
When
Right.
when I was talking to Gretchen about the budget and I mentioned this to her face lit up.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely lit up. So that just says to me,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah, she's run thin, for
Yep.
sure, we see
yeah,
it.
and we appreciate that. With the, there's a couple other proposed increases that have been alluded to. I'd like to talk through the reasons for them. At Pioneer, there was a full-time administrative assistant. There was a second half-time administrative assistant. We reduced it to save money. It hasn't worked. All it has done is stress out the staff, and they are not able to do some of the non-emergency day-to-day work that helps a building run really efficiently. So we cut it, right? We cut it. It's not functioning as well as we, understandably. So we are proposing to increase that back to 0.5 FTE. We have our only novice teacher in the district. She's in her first year. She's doing a great job. Math teacher up at Pioneer. She's a 0.4, and she is doing her student teaching under the supervision of a highly credentialed math teacher at Pioneer. We are proposing to bring her up to 1.0 because we need more math teaching. We need more math teaching. Like, we've got to have more math teaching. There is a reduction that's happening alongside. We've talked about this in the past. We are reducing our ELA staff by 1.0 next year. Mrs. Claire Brennan, who is the Union PBREA co-president, veteran ELA teacher and beloved at Pioneer, is retiring. We knew that well in advance, and Principal Scanlon Amy knew of a fantastic ELA teacher who would be losing her position in her prior district due to seniority, and we made the expensive decision to bring her in a year early. It's been an excellent investment. She is in position. She's going to take over the high school position when Claire leaves, and in the meantime, she's been teaching classes and mentoring a newer ELA teacher. So there will be a reduction of one ELA teacher next year. I hope that's helpful.
And it prompted me to one other question along the lines of that. What's an athletic supervisor? That's a new position.
That's
At our games?
for games,
At
yeah.
our
Yeah.
games. So there's always at a athletic match, especially basketball, soccer, where there's a high likelihood of injury, there's an adult, there's an administrative adult
Administrator.
there. There's an administrator there.
Isn't that
So,
normally the athletic director?
not always.
No,
Not always.
They can't be at
Not
all the
always. He
games.
can't be at every single,
Most communities, that's the way it is.
no. No.
It's not. I mean, so imagine, I
I
mean,
understand what you're saying. but-
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's only
But that's what it
$3,000,
is.
but
But that's what it is.
a few
That's what the
$3,000
position-
add up to.
Yeah.
They
But
do. They do add up. You are absolutely right. We sought the guidance of Sherry Webb, who was the athletic director at Hopkins for 37 years.
Smith Academy.
Smith?
Yeah.
Sorry,
So
Ms.
close.
Webb.
Right there.
Okay, 37 years. She is mentoring our athletic director. We seek her counsel frequently. We asked her, we asked our current athletic to check in with some other districts, and the universal answer was absolutely the athletic director should not be expected to be the person on site. Principal Scanlon Amy serves as the administrator on site. The dean of students serves as the administrator on
I've done
site. You've done it?
Yeah, I've done it.
I believe Mrs. Brennan has offered to volunteer to be the admin. I've said, sign me up to be the administrator on site. We will burn out the athletic director
Yes.
if we ask him to
Yes.
be at all games.
Just saw it was new.
Understandable. Yep.
Okay.
So I
Go ahead.
just, I had
Yeah.
a quick question. We're gonna go backwards for a second, off the athletics, back to the teaching and all of that. And this is more of a curiosity question. Do you find there is we'll say a shortage of teachers coming through you mentioned you have
Yeah.
a new teacher. Is there a shortage? I guess is the
Yeah, no,
gist
this
of
is,
the question.
okay, so I will frame this in that part of my professional experience includes serving for 4 years as a full-time mentor in the Boston Public Schools. I was immersed in the world of research regarding teacher retention. We have a crisis in the country. About 10 years ago, half of all new teachers left within the 5 years. And I can only imagine that the rate is much worse right now given COVID.
Yeah.
If anyone watching has children who want permanent employment, tell them to go get a degree in special education or mathematics. You will always have a job, mathematics and special education. There is, so that is why Pioneer's incredible turnaround in terms of our ability to recruit teachers is nothing short of astonishing. I've said this, I'm going to keep saying it. We hired 9 new educators this year. Again, I worked in this world. It was part of the 9 new educators, only 1 was a novice teacher. On average, every other person we hired had at least 10 years of experience.
Oh, wow.
Many of them had 15 plus years of experience. Why is this happening? Because we've improved our contract, and I would argue it is probably even more likely we've improved our culture and our reputation. Pioneer has become a desirable place for experienced teachers to land. We are very aggressive about recruiting. We cold call people, we cold email people. I am not exaggerating when I say there are times we will go to the main platform, the teacher recruitment platform, and we will pull up, I'll put in search terms and 2,000 names will come up, and we will start going through them. And we will reach out to anybody who's got a license who lives within 1 hour from us. So there is a teacher, it is a crisis, there's a crisis in school administration as well.
Yes.
The pools for every administrative role, from mine down, up. So the fact that Pioneer right now has a strong administrative team is like towns, like this Go team. And we've got a fabulous teaching corps, and we've got a fantastic support personnel corps. I'll just keep being the cheerleader. It matters, right? Because folks
Yeah, of
watch
course.
these meetings.
It does matter.
Right? Pioneer is a great place
Yep.
to come and work.
Yep.
So that was a long answer, Brian, but
That's fine. That's fine.
Can I ask a follow-up question?
Sure.
If you hired 9 new teachers last year, were they all replacements for people who retired or people who went on to other positions? Or were they
okay.
new?
They weren't new,
Well-
except for
One.
one, that ELA.
You mean she was a novice teacher, but okay.
No, I
It-
mean, the
Yeah.
positions,
Right.
all 9 positions already existed, so you were replacing.
Yes.
Except for that
Is
one.
there
Or
is
not
there
coming
anything?
back
Were there
or
any new
whatever.
positions?
The
Was it
ELA
that
position.
The ELA one.
Yeah.
The ELA one was
So
new.
1 new.
Yep.
One new position. I'm trying to think in my mind of everything. Retirements and departures. And our departures tend not to be for local districts. Our departures tend to be for other places. Like we have folks who will move here and then they don't find housing. Or they find housing. We had someone great last year, but she found housing an hour and 20 minutes away. And like, you're not going to raise a family and
Right.
drive an hour.
Right.
Did we split any classes last year?
I mean, have a class and split at mid-year?
Yeah.
I
Or
don't,
not
I
mid-year,
don't think,
at the end of the year.
I don't
Yeah.
think so.
Okay.
No.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Jane.
Everybody good? Yeah. Local context and town expenditures, that was one of my questions. I know it was in the, one of the budget workbooks. I just want to bring up a couple things where we talked about the percentages that public safety went up, schools went up,
Yeah.
the administration went up, all the different things that go up. Couple things, and I know, Patricia, you've mentioned it before when it comes to state data, that sometimes you can't trust state data because you're not sure where they're getting it from. I, for one, can say the state doesn't call Bernardston and say, tell me how much you spent in each one of your line items. They may somehow in the back door look at the budget that we don't know about. I would, one, question the facts within those studies, as Patricia has for things, and I'm gonna look at my notes like MCAS. You've questioned whether the state data is actually accurate or not. with a more recent one of teacher and administrator absences, if that data is correct or not. I too want to bring up the same question about this data that was provided within that. And I know you took it off the website. I'm not saying you made it up. It is what it is. And I also want to say that we're looking at apples and oranges. Our highest budget line item in the town of Bernardston is the highway department. FY26 was $553,000. If you're looking at a 1% there, you're looking at $5,500. Our portion of the Pioneer budget last year was $3.5 million. So when you're looking at 1%, you're looking at a $35,000 apples and apples. It's not apples to oranges for that, for one. And there's years within the datum that they show that where we purchase $1 million fire truck, well, that throws public safety way out of whack. We buy a $450,000 highway truck, which we don't do but every 10 years. Fire trucks are even 20 years. Well, it fell within that. We bought 3 during that time because they were all wrecks. So it skews the numbers. So I just want to say it publicly that people need to look at apples and apples, not apples and oranges. The data you presented is right off the state. I get it. I question it, for one. And percentage to percentage, they're not even comparing apples to apples. A 1% to our biggest line item compared to 1% to the school's line item are drastically different.
Understood.
That was my point I was trying to bring up there.
I know it was, when I was reading some of the questions too, oftentimes I'll say, is this a question or a statement?
Right.
Because it's posed as a question, but really you're trying
It's
to
really
tell,
a statement.
you're trying to tell
Right.
us something
Right.
here. So what are you trying to tell us?
And that was
right?
it.
So that's helpful.
And all mine, because the next ones are all mine. They're all the same, in the same vein.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean,
I
go
would say,
ahead.
and I appreciate the way you're framing this, but
Yeah.
I did get it from the state, and
Yeah.
I get it, and you
Yeah.
are correct. I questioned the state's data collection around staff attendance. I don't question
Maybe
their...
not make MCAS.
Yeah, I don't question MCAS, but you're right. They get their numbers from the towns. So I would say this might be an area to explore on your end.
Yeah, for
What
sure.
is the mechanism by
Yeah.
which DLS
Yeah.
receives your numbers? Because they are your numbers, right? They
Yep.
don't
Yep.
make up the numbers. And in general, I hear what you're saying about apples and oranges. I think the data around the apples is interesting. The data around the oranges are interesting, right? And the apples, as it were, to continue the metaphor, regarding the proportion of our town budgets that have gone to education, and again, education includes Pioneer and Franklin Tech, to see that it has gone down consistently in all 3 towns for 8 years is incontrovertible. Like that is, I don't see how that enormous data set is anything other than interesting, right? Because it's not what I expected to see. I mean, we owe educate.
Right.
Oh, that's actually super interesting. And then our discussion, and this is for folks at home, about, we often hear residents understandably say, "Oh my goodness, 58%, 62%, 49% of the budget is education." That's what it is for every municipality in the Commonwealth. Maybe Gosnold. Again, that town on Cuttyhunk or wherever it is. Gosnold always appears as an outlier. But for that is just how it works. For every municipality, education is the biggest piece of the pie.
And I do think a key point you made in one of the meetings along those same lines were, if this wasn't a regional school district, the health insurance
Yes.
line would not be within that budget.
Thank you for
Thank
If
repeating.
you pull that out, and I never looked at it that way, honestly, till you said it that day, I was like, oh yeah, that's a good point.
It got through.
If you look at the city of Greenfield,
Yes.
Right. If you look at, if you're
there's,
correct.
and because I went the next day and
Good.
looked theirs up
Right.
to say,
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
in our budget.
Right.
it is a big difference.
Right.
It
Thank you,
it
Brian.
can be a little complicating when
Yeah.
you're dealing with a municipality and a regional school district.
Yep.
It does, it's a different beast.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Doesn't
Thanks.
mean that the town wouldn't still be paying it.
That's right.
You'd be paying it out of a different line.
Right. It's just a
Right.
different.
It would just be reported
But
differently.
it changes their percentage of our budget.
Yeah.
I'm gonna use the words drastically when you pull health insurance out of theirs,
Yeah,
because it drops that
to 9%.
60%, let's call it, down to, pick a number,
Yeah.
9%.
you know?
6, 7 or something.
It's huge.
That's-
Thank you.
The enrollment data.
Yeah, the enrollment one, I'm just trying to square it away in my head. You provide a very nice document I think
Yeah.
it's monthly, you put it
You want
out.
to do this one?
Monthly, yeah.
Sure.
So I'm just trying to get it squared in my head. Foundational enrollment, I think, is the key word, right?
Okay, we looked at something
Okay,
different.
that's-
Okay.
Because you,
And I didn't
your
mention
question.
foundation. I
Yeah,
couldn't
that's
remember the
okay.
word. I had to go
So-
find it.
I'm going to let you do the numbers, but for folks at home, I want to explain a couple different terms. So Brian has aptly mentioned foundation enrollment. That is an enrollment count for all students for whom the towns and the district are financially responsible. So that would include kids in our regional public school district. It would include students who school choice out to another district. It would include kids going to charter schools, and it would include kids going to the state's 2 Commonwealth virtual schools. Right? It doesn't include kids who are homeschooled. It doesn't include kids who go to private schools, right? The towns aren't, unless it's a private 766 school, and that's a private school, out of district schools. When there is a student who has such significant special needs that they cannot be accommodated within the district and they need to go to a special education school, those are frequently private schools. Those kids would be included in foundation enrollment. Now, our district agreement does not use foundation enrollment to determine how much money each of the towns has to pay towards the district operations. We include the kids who live in the towns who are going to Pioneer. And it turns out that Leiden has done very well with that arrangement, because Leiden kids, and I haven't checked this year's numbers, but traditionally students in Leiden have gone out through school choice or the charter schools at a higher percentage than Bernardston-Northfield. And those numbers, even though we're responsible for paying for those students are not counted in Leiden's town assessment under the district agreement. The revised district agreement that has been put forward, that is not being voted on right now, would remedy that situation. So when we read the question here, I'll read the question aloud for folks at home. What is the actual number of in-district students for whom the 3-member towns are financially responsible? We took that to mean kids sitting with bottoms and seats at Pioneer. Do you want to do the
Right,
numbers?
sure. So Bernardston Elementary, for residents, we have 194. Northfield, 118. And again, this is not overall enrollment. These are residents attending.
Yep.
Pioneer Valley, 169. And that's a grand total of 481.
Total was what?
481.
Yeah, because the foundation, then you add the school choice kids back into that number and charter schools back into that number. That's the big number that
And pre-K,
we don't
that
pull
does
out of
not
this.
have a very high level of needs, is not included in the foundation enrollment also. So, yeah, there's different types, but that's the number of little bodies or big bodies of kids who live in our 3 towns who come to a Pioneer school every day.
So any Northfield student that's at BES is counted as Northfield and vice versa.
We included those kids in this resident count because they're resident students attending one of the schools. Yep, and currently, I think we have some Northfield residents who go to BES. I don't think that we have Bernardston residents going to NES right now.
I think we may have.
Oh, you might have one. And that is allowed, I have the prerogative under policy, district policy, to entertain requests from families. Let's pretend there's a family that has lived in Bernardston for many years. Their kids have gone to BES. They've got kids in 3rd grade and 5th grade, but they moved to Northfield. They really would like their kids to finish out. I have the authority to allow the family to remain at BES. However, the district will not provide transportation for a family that is choosing to, and gets my permission. We're not going to incur a cost to have that happen.
So like in January is the 565. That includes people that are choicing in
Kids who are choicing
or
in.
tuitioning
Yes.
in.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yep.
Thought I had it right in my head, but
Right.
every month I look at it like.
Right, so if people are listening and they hear, wait a minute, 481.
Right.
That's not our
That's
total
not our
enrollment.
Right.
enrollment. Our enrollment is
65.
565,
Right.
right?
When you
Like
count the school
that-
choice in and
Correct, correct.
gotcha.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Anybody else have questions about that? No? The next one, again, is just a discussion on the condition assessment that Canon provided.
Yeah.
As we've all been going through it. Couple things. I went through line item by line item in Bernardston's, and we just want to be clear with people that are listening that everything in this document is somebody's assessment on a quick look at things. One particular line item that I'll mention is replacing every single window in Bernardston Elementary School. That is like the most ridiculous statement in the world, in my opinion. Yes, there are windows that need to be fixed, but it's not every single window in the school. There's many things listed here that could become a problem down the road that are annually inspected by the fire department and or the building inspector. And we continue to get good findings. But they're noted in here that they need to be replaced within 3 years. There are things within here, line items like exterior foundation has water staining on it. That needs to be taken care of. Well, to Brian Keir, that's maintenance, which is the school's responsibility. It talks about cracks and chips in the sidewalk. Well, that's maintenance. It shows a picture in the interior of the building of a broken switch plate, and that all the light switches and outlets and covers need to be replaced. Well, if they're worried about the broken switch plate for 59 cents, I'll come in and put a new switch plate on. I don't need to pay $3,500 that it says in here.
Right.
All of those little, and there's some big hitters on here too that are definitely need to get done. I'm not saying nothing in here is factual. But even if we did every single thing that they suggested in here, which I'm going out publicly saying is ridiculous, it's only $4.3 million. If we build a new school, and let's say it's $100 million, and that was a number Canon threw out during that study, the town of Bernardston is going to be responsible for way more than $4.3 million to fund that. I'm just saying we got to be careful with studies like this that, I mean, and Brian would pick out different things out of it because of his background, and Ken would pick out different things because of his background. We just want to be cognizant of what some of the things are within there, and yes, there's definitely things that need to get taken care of, but a lot of it is, you know, exterior walls, like the bricks that need to be repointed, that comes in at $443,000. Well, I'm going to jump on my Stan Garland bandwagon and say, if we don't do annual maintenance and repoint a section that we see needs to be repointed for $5,500, if we leave it long enough, it becomes a capital project for the town of Bernardston. The lights on the entrance under the walkway going into the school, yeah, they're all kicked out. Well, the kid did that. How come that kid's family wasn't charged for that damage that was done if they know who did it? I mean, there's things like that that are, yeah, we're willing to meet you in the middle somewhere, but we just got to be careful of. Bernardston Elementary wasn't invited into this study. And if we did every single thing on here, we're looking at $4,394,000. I'll gladly pay that over the tab for a new building, but we just want to be careful what we're really looking at here.
Wow.
A lot of it is maintenance.
Did you
You
just
just
hear?
made a great case for a maintenance worker.
You did.
And I told you, but you're gonna have
Thank you.
but you're gonna have trouble with the pay.
Well, because we talked about, what can we put in here?
I mean, I know
We
what you're
can't-
spending.
Are
your
you
time on.
suggesting we up the?
Because we could,
I'm not saying this
we'll
year's the
put
year to
80.
do it. I'm not saying this is the year to do it, but
But yeah.
I can definitely see the justification for a maintenance person in my little brain.
Yeah, no, my guess is most people could. You know, you're raising great questions, and again, for folks at home, the district used federal COVID era money to do these reports. The whole process cost $120,000. Our intent was to provide these reports to the towns so that you could review them and begin thinking. 2 years ago, the reports were provided, just saying, 2 years ago, what do they mean for you? And what do you think? I agree. Not everything in there is gospel,
Yep.
but it was a starting point for discussion.
And we asked for it.
Yes.
We asked for it.
Yeah.
Be clear.
We
Yeah.
did.
yeah, it was a fact-finding mission.
Yep.
And,
Right.
yeah.
But I just want to caution people
Yeah,
that,
fair enough.
I'm not saying take it all with a grain of salt, because there's definitely some things in there that need to be taken care of.
Right.
And we're looking at that.
And we are.
Great.
There's things that we're, if
But
Pete
we
gives
do
us some
get
money, we're gonna
offended
take
when-
care of it
when
this
we-
year.
Well, we get offended when they pick on infinitesimal things and blow them out of
Right.
What was that? Sorry, I
What?
missed that. What?
Infant, what'd you say?
infinitesimal things.
Like
You'll
the
have to
light
ask
switch?
her for
Okay.
interpretation.
When you look at a switch,
Little bitty
When you
things
take little
that blow
things
them
and
out.
Oh,
When
okay.
you look
Do you
at-
mean in the report? You don't mean us?
In the report.
In the report.
yeah, when you look
okay.
at a switch plate cover that's broken.
Right.
And all of a sudden, all the switch plate covers need to be replaced.
And that was actually one of them in the report, there was a picture of it. I'm like,
Right.
you gotta be kidding me.
Right.
It's just one. Maybe there's five.
Right. Well, that's like
But all of them are broke? Come on.
Right. Well, that's
Right.
like I remember when I was a teacher, I wanted to go and buy pencils because they were 25 cents. And I said, I'm just going to go buy them for my class and then get them reimbursed. And the school was like, no. We have to bid. Like, we have to order them through the school, through the public
Through the
bid.
bid.
I'm like, so you're paying $7 for a pack of pencils and I can go buy them for 25 cents? And they're like, yeah, absolutely. We can't reimburse you for that. And I was like,
Right.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
So like a lot of the costs that we have, and like the reason why I'm sharing this is because the costs that are in the budgets or in the canon design, when we think of a 59-cent cover plate, right?
Right.
That's what it would be for us, but not if we might have to bid it out, you
Right.
know?
Right.
It's gonna be more expensive.
$59.
You have
Correct.
to bid out
So,
everything, the
it's
towns don't have to bid out everything. There are, how
Less
many-
than 10.
there are levels,
Yeah,
Yeah, less than 10 grand, you don't have
less
to.
than
you
10
don't
grand.
bid out. We
That would be
pay.
the same for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, the procurement. We're actually higher
Mhm.
Yeah.
on some.
Yeah.
Anybody have anything else they wanna bring up?
Oh, yeah.
School folks are here, go for it.
So last year, I and Jane sat through the budget process. And at the very last meeting, your predecessor dropped a bomb on the town of Bernardston because the assessment ratio, because we have more new houses in Bernardston than Northfield or Leiden. So our percentage went up dramatically. And the increase last year's budget fell unfairly, or perhaps that's the wrong word, disproportionately on Bernardston. What assurance do I have
We're
from
going to take this one.
you
Please.
folks that this year's assessment, that process isn't going to happen all over again and we're going to get dumped on because
Yeah. So, great question. Thank you, Ken. For folks at home, the town assessments are made up of several components. One is minimum required contribution. The state is the owner of the algorithm that determines the assessments. So we cannot provide any assurance yet. We haven't seen the governor's numbers, and on the advice of our fiscal overseer and the former fiscal overseer, who is currently the district treasurer, and after checking in with multiple other local districts, we are waiting for the governor's numbers to provide draft town assessments. But we cannot provide you that assurance, Ken, because
So
the
it-
state makes those numbers. It is a formula driven by the state. And so it will depend upon Bernardston's municipal revenue growth factor, right? So last year you had more housing developed here, and I'm assuming it has also something to do with your local receipts. Bernardston's, it's a category of money that towns bring in. Bernardston's local receipts are far more favorable than the local receipts in either Northfield or Leiden.
Last year.
Yeah.
Okay,
And last year we were 15th.
in the
out of
state.
351 communities.
You were 15th, not in local receipts.
No, but the total.
Municipal revenue growth
Right.
factor. I've looked up the
Sorry.
3 municipal revenue growth factors, but the spreadsheet wouldn't let me look at every single one in the state, so I couldn't do your number, so I don't know where you stand this year. Do you know where you stand this
No.
year?
No.
I
Alls
can see
know
if I
is
can find
based
that
on-
out.
You
We
don't
can
know
look it
until
out.
every-
Based
Can you
on
find
our-
that out?
Yeah.
Based on the assessor's
We know
presentation,
what,
ours were down.
wait,
Oh, good.
Karen, it will tell you where you stand in the state, because I found the 3 percentages, but I couldn't find the 351 for every
That's
municipality?
because the 351 have all not reported yet, so there won't be the percentage listing until everybody has reported.
Okay.
I see.
I would probably go to the same place that you went to. You're talking about the DLS website, right?
Right, so they
Yeah.
have a spreadsheet, doesn't
Yeah.
work on my Mac, I had to go to the director of
We
technology.
found it out when we went to that class last year, so I know, yeah.
So that's entirely out of our control, and I don't want to represent that we can promise anything.
Right.
It's just, that would not be responsible.
Waiting, and
I
again, it's
know,
probably out
I
of your
know.
control, waiting until that last
I know.
budget meeting to spring it on us, to educate us. All
That's, spring on us doesn't seem
right,
fair.
that's a judgmental term, all right.
Well,
So-
yeah.
To inform us that the disproportionate change, Bernardston ate most of the increase in your budget last year. And it.
That's hard.
it
It's hard
was
for a single town.
And now we're looking
No
at even
question.
a bigger increase this year.
Um,
If we had to swallow that, I don't know what the heck we're supposed to do.
Close the highway department.
We could do that. Not shovel snow, do whatever
The
else.
only thing I can say is that we are not alone.
We are
Remember
not.
that spread, we are not alone.
Okay.
None of our towns is alone. None of our districts is alone. On
Leiden
that
made out
spreadsheet,
great. Northfield made out great. Bernardston, not so much.
Well, but
Every
this
year,
year-
somebody gets it.
yeah,
It usually
this-
rotates.
This, you know, my colleagues, and I'm sure Taffy, your colleagues, when you have, you know, meetings of budget managers, again, this is in my 5th year here, and probably in my years, you know, I was an assistant superintendent for a number of years in a couple other districts, and equally as involved in budget. This is probably the worst year. There is a local district, I'm not naming them because they haven't come out in public yet, projecting a 22% increase to their all funds budget. That's brutal for
That is
any
brutal.
town in Western Massachusetts. That's, because 22% in all funds most certainly means an even greater increase in local, which means a greater increase in this. I mean, not schadenfreude, it's just saying it's bad, and we
You
collectively.
have no offsets to that 22. It's,
No, and collectively, you know, maybe there is something. Do you want to talk about the lawsuit? Or can I bring it up?
Well, you just did.
I just did, yeah, here.
you just buried her.
Now everyone's interested.
Sure.
I'm doing it. Because I'm going to a meeting of superintendents tomorrow. There's going to be I'm blushing. There's going to be a gathering of rural superintendents from across the state. We are in this together, right? Towns and district, we are not enemies. We are all, it is so clear, our towns have such a commitment to education and to keeping people safe on the roads, right? Our DPWs, like our fire, our volunteer fire, incredible public servants. We need the state to make some changes. Rural schools, I'm going to use some explicit language here, rural schools have gotten the shaft from the state. For the state to cut in this fiscal year what is called rural aid was a slap in the face, and it was an indication that Beacon Hill, I'm pointing my finger here, that Beacon Hill felt comfortable not listening to their constituencies in Western Massachusetts. We trotted the kids out with their T-shirts to the various state hearings. We have testified, various people in this room, at the state hearings. And Beacon Hill still felt comfortable not only providing an incremental increase to rural aid for our 65 rural districts in the state, but cutting the aid. 25% cut from last year. That's not okay. The Commonwealth needs a thriving rural sector. If the Commonwealth wants to produce food, it needs to support its rural towns. It needs to support its rural families. It needs to support rural schools. We don't need another commission. We don't need another. You know. Beacon Hill has got to have some backbone and say, we're going to provide $2,000 plus extra for every kid who's enrolled in a rural school. Give us that money and we can run the schools just
Oh my
fine.
gosh,
We know
yes.
how to run schools. We
Please.
know how to be frugal. It's not magic. We're not looking for bells and whistles. We're not looking for fancy. We can run a nice educational program and keep the kids safe if we had fair and equitable funding. So there is discussion, and there has been for about a year, of a lawsuit. Because Beacon Hill is not listening to polite entreaties. It's not paying attention to the reports. It's not making changes. Lawsuits are what have brought about major change in public education in Massachusetts. So there is a group of rural districts and rural towns contemplating the idea of a lawsuit, contending that the state is inequitably addressing the funding needs of rural districts. And so that would put us together, like we're not enemies, put us together.
Yeah, exactly.
And decrease, so it's not just rural.
Yeah, thank you.
It's also towns that have decreasing enrollment. So they're starting to see in the eastern part of the state,
Imagine
some
that.
of these
Imagine
bigger
that,
towns are seeing decreasing enrollment, and they're not getting the money. And so they are starting to be like, whoa, what do you mean? What do you mean we're not getting this money because of decreasing? So now that it's starting to spread beyond rural and into some of these urban areas,
Maybe they'll listen.
maybe they'll listen, right? So there's this idea that the lawsuit would really look at, you're saying you're funding this and you're not. You're not doing what you said you're gonna do. You know, you can talk about transportation, you can, you know, all sorts of different line items.
Yeah.
And so that is a possible discussion that school districts and towns are looking at partnering together and saying, hey, do we want to look at the equity in what should be happening? So that's
I think
what-
it's fair to say when we had this same meeting in Leiden
Yes.
a couple of weeks ago, Leiden expressed some interest
Oh,
in
absolutely.
exploring. So would Bernardston
Yeah,
entertain a
absolutely.
conversation,
Yeah.
not
Oh,
signing on, but
Yeah.
and initial estimates, super initial estimates, maybe 50,000 to hire somebody, an attorney. I spoke with an attorney. Martha Thurber is the school committee chair of Mohawk Trail. She's been talking about this for some time, and I would say my colleague Cheryl Stanton, superintendent of Mohawk, is I think the preeminent superintendent from the 65 rural districts. She is convening us tomorrow at a statewide superintendent's conference to do yet more strategizing, and there will be yet another letter. There was yet another survey that we completed ours today from rural districts, trying to help the state understand. The state has got to make a choice. Do they want rural towns to survive? Because if they do, have a backbone and be willing to say to the likes of our wonderful colleagues in places like Dover, Sherborne, and Weston, all the W's,
All the
Wellesley,
Ws.
Wayland, Weston, you know what? They don't need the automatic 18 whatever percent of the foundation budget per student that they're currently getting. They don't need it. They can easily play a multiple of the foundation budget with their very own town assessments without, as Cheryl says, without breaking a sweat. We're sweating out here,
And so are you.
right?
I mean,
Yes,
yes,
that was
so
a
are
collective
you.
around the table.
Absolutely.
We are sweating, right? We
Yep.
can't ask you to put public safety at risk
Right.
so that
Right.
we can have a nice second grade classroom.
Right.
We're Massachusetts. We're one of the wealthiest states in the union. Why are we having this conversation? Public education can be funded, as can public safety,
Right.
if the legislature gets a backbone and makes some hard decisions. So,
And we're not asking for new, right?
No.
Right.
We're just asking to just fulfill
Right.
your promise.
Fair.
Right.
fair.
Like that's
Absolutely.
it. Like we're just fulfill your promise. So
Yep.
Jane.
Yes, you said 50,000 to hire somebody to,
Begin, an attorney to begin looking into what it would take.
okay, but my question is it 50,000 for the attorney, or is it 50,000 for each entity? that's
Oh,
going
no,
to
no, no,
support
50
this?
And that was a
50,000
ballpark.
doesn't sound like enough.
Yeah,
for
the
an
more
attorney.
people that sign up.
The more
less
people,
it
the more
gets.
towns and districts that
Right.
sign up, the cheaper it would be.
Yeah.
No, 50 would be just to get started. I don't want to represent that I know anything about what a final
Mm-hmm.
retainer would look like, but the
How many
initial
school
thought was,
districts are you talking?
there are 65 rural school districts. I don't know how many towns that represents
So it's
because
less than
many of us.
1,000
right.
each? Is that what you're saying?
To start the process, could be.
Yeah,
Could be.
could be.
Yeah.
And,
and that doesn't include the declining.
If we
enrollment.
add the
That
declining
if the
people-
if they wanted
The chapter
to
I see,
70.
add those towns
Yeah.
into the mix.
possibly,
add them in,
you know.
right.
Right.
Well, I would
Who
say this
knows?
board
Who
would
knows?
definitely want to sign on to that.
Who knows?
Wonderful.
And
Okay.
this is just information. What
Right,
you know,
right.
this get
I'm
us.
glad you're doing it, really.
You know,
Yeah.
get us.
Even the threat
Right.
of a loss, even the threat of a lawsuit, if the powers that be see that there's a good legal argument behind it, is enough to make change.
Mhm.
Right.
Yep.
So if that's tomorrow's meeting, when is the meeting of the individual towns?
Oh,
So our
yeah.
side of the table, if you will, to join this lawsuit.
Tomorrow's meeting is not exclusive, there's a midwinter convening that, of all superintendents in the state every winter. Cheryl Stanton has organized an afternoon session for rural superintendents. There's going to be conversation about yet another letter to the state. We will be bringing up the idea of a lawsuit to make sure other people understand it, but the meeting is not exclusively about a lawsuit. So for the towns, I don't know what the best mechanism is, Melissa, for the towns to be contacting each other. I mean, we can make available a list of,
Yeah, I would say stay tuned. So I'm going to reach out to Martha Thurber and Jessica Corwin from Sunderland, and say, hey, because we've already talked about it at another event, and so I'm going to send out an email to them like, hey, we're interested. What are we, because Martha might have a whole idea and strategy
Right.
possibly going on.
Mhm.
So I would say wait
Stay tuned.
to hear wait to hear from us.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Some guidance,
Yep.
and because Martha might be able to provide something.
right, and I'm trying to think of where some of our local elected officials are on this. I know that they've been involved in some conversations, some of them about it. Could I ask you something? If you don't hear from Pioneer within 2 weeks, will someone give us a shout?
Sure.
Great.
I have 2
That-
weeks. Got
We
it.
have 2 weeks, yeah, to do.
No pressure.
No, it's good. It's good.
It could be waiting for an answer from somebody.
It might be the day before. I need a deadline.
It doesn't matter if it's the day before, but
Yeah.
just a little
Right.
accountability would be
Yeah.
helpful.
Yeah. Great.
Let's in 2
Yeah.
weeks. Let's see.
Yeah.
We got to move this because it's
Right.
it's a great idea, and every group that it has come up in, it appears there is an appetite
Oh, yeah.
to say like, no,
Yeah,
enough
this
of
isn't
this.
working.
We matter. Our kids matter.
Mhm.
Our towns matter.
Yeah.
Our towns are feeding, right, the state.
Yeah.
Our towns we protect the forests. Those poor Quabbin watershed towns, for crying out loud, they can't build. They may not build, right, because of the watershed. Why isn't the state funding them?
Right.
Right? They will perpetually be at a financial
Well, they could
disadvantage.
fix their pipes in Boston and that would help.
What's that?
They can't afford to.
Fix the pipes in Boston and that would
They'll
help.
tax us.
Right.
You're right.
I know. They'll tax us.
Yeah, they'll just tax us for it.
That's
So
right.
we,
That's right.
Not really.
No. We need to. We've been so polite.
Mhm.
perfect storm, we just lost Natalie Blay. She was
Yep.
our
I know.
strong advocate
Yep.
for the schools
Yep.
on our behalf.
And they're not going to
Yeah.
hold us. Oh,
I know.
I know.
So we've really lost her voice.
Mhm.
We're now
Yeah, she's great.
disenfranchised.
She
We
was
do
great.
not have a
Yep.
vote
Yep.
on Beacon Hill.
yeah, we have Senator Comerford.
And she's excellent. Don't
She
get me
is,
wrong.
she is wonderful.
But you're right. It's a
That's
huge
in our
loss.
Senate.
It's a
We
huge
lost
loss.
our.
We lost our
Yes.
representative. That is
Mhm.
right.
Yes.
And nobody seemed to care.
Yeah.
Not in Boston, anyway.
In Boston. Right.
It's
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
all right.
Yeah.
I'm done. Okay.
One last question. You're going to go back to purchasing. Are you guys part of? I'm trying to think of the acronym.
Masscom?
is- Yeah, Masscom.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Or Combis. I think
Yeah,
it's-
Combis.
Combis,
Yeah.
Yeah.
combis,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, when I first saw the price of Crayola package, like, you could
Well,
get, no,
pencil
my
pens,
friend. I bought probably hundreds of packages for something like, of Crayola crayons, 29 cents, 39 cents. I think they put the wrong number in that spreadsheet. I kept them to that price. No. Some of the prices are excellent.
Some of them are really good.
Very, very
yes.
favorable. Yes, yeah, we do.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I assumed that you did.
Yeah,
but-
Yeah.
Can I get back to one thing?
Sure.
Because you brought up a really great point about the assessments, and
Uh-oh.
thank you for
Hold on to your seats. She's about to spring it on
No,
us.
no, and thank you for explaining
Yeah.
that. So our next budget sub-meeting is, I believe, the 28th,
Yes.
okay? So I have been asked by the budget subcommittee to provide budget 3.0 without assessments. And the reason being is because the numbers won't be in yet from the state. So they come, I mean, we're on the 21st of the month, and we still don't have the governor's
Right.
budget.
That's
So
right,
it's
you're right.
Well, you'll have it this week.
I hope so. So
Maybe.
it happens right, and because we have to approve
Right,
our
that's
budget.
just next week.
When
Right.
we approve our budget, you know, on the 12th, it's so close to when we get it. So that's when the numbers get plugged in. And it does seem very quick.
Got it.
So I just want to clear that up for folks and thank you.
Last time I ever spoke to Jordan was that meeting. He stiffed us.
He just, he had
And
a
he did it
deliberate
with
bad
a-
You
name.
just plug,
I'm
I'm gonna
sorry.
plug numbers in too. It's a formula that
Yeah.
we don't write.
That's what he said. It was, he
Yeah.
blamed
It
it all on,
is.
it's out of my control, but
Okay.
It is. It is.
Well,
Okay.
thank you so much. Thank you.
May I add to Ken's woes? When I saw that number, I went immediately to a personal friend who worked for the state and had it recalculated. And that person came back to me and said, when you called, I was sure the state had made a mistake. I'm sorry to tell you, it is correct.
Oh, gosh.
I didn't say he wasn't right.
Right.
It was
Just
just one
wanna
of
make
those
that
last
clear.
minute gotchas that,
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thanks
Good
for
job.
having us. Thank you.
did we do better or worse than life?
Better. Oh, better than Line. I thought you meant than last
I
year.
heard it.
Oh, don't
dare.
go there. Don't go there.
Thanks for all you guys do, appreciate it. It might not seem like it sometimes, but we do appreciate it.
Thanks for having us. Thank you.
Peter,
It's time.
still awake over there?
I am.
You're up next
All right.
to introduce a new mass notification system
Yeah.
called
What happened to
Regroup.
Red something?
Code Red
They
is,
got hacked, didn't they?
Gone.
yeah. They took several weeks before they admitted they got hacked. I mean, they came up with 101 excuses why it wasn't working and everything else, but,
That's a big deal when that doesn't work.
yeah, I mean, the city of Worcester was using them.
Ooh.
Up
Yeah.
till that point.
Bye, guys.
And
See ya.
it hit quick with no warning and,
Usually does.
yeah, luckily we made through it. I'd actually looked into Regroup a year ago and looking for a simpler system. This is much more simpler than the Code Red, and it's actually cheaper. So we saved
Don't
$700.
tell Jane that.
She's already written it down. It's too late.
Yeah, you're locked in now.
You said 700, that's it, it better come out 700 less, I'm gonna tell you that.
Not at $698.
Yeah.
That's right, $700.
So, I mean, we're through the process, pretty close. We're to the point where we gotta collect the data and the information. That has been a drawback. We couldn't pull all our old information we had at Code Red, so we're basically starting to scratch. I am working with E911 as a coordinator. I suppose we have access to that, so that would give us all the 648 numbers anyways, and possibly some of the cell phone numbers, depend how they were set up, so.
I got an email from you collecting data. That's what you're talking about for
Yeah.
all of the,
Yeah, it did.
and it's for the entire town?
Yes, so we're
Who
gonna-
gets to input all that data?
Well, each town registers themselves.
you
I know.
can register, so if you go online, you can.
It's on the
go
website.
There's a
On the
website.
website.
Yeah, we added it to the
I
website,
saw
so
the
each
banner the other day,
Yep,
yeah.
so it's right up there, and then
Yep.
each resident
And we
can
have the-
register.
Point and click and scan option. You can click on and do it too, so.
It's in the newsletter too,
Yeah.
the February
Okay.
People need to
newsletter.
know that if they think they're signed up still, that was the old Code Red system.
Correct.
Everybody has to re-sign up for
Right.
this
Redo
new
it and
system.
redo it.
Can we
All the
use the senior center to sign up all the seniors?
Yes, we're already in that
Good
process.
call.
Okay,
Doing
it's
that.
on the list, okay. Good.
Okay, so people need to
So
know
things
that.
like
Okay.
that were the special needs list for, I know none of them like that name to it, but,
Yeah,
you know,
there are people
we're,
that have,
we're entering that
high touch.
information in already.
Yep.
So anything we get, it's, I think when I looked this afternoon, we'd gained like 8 people today, so it's slowly gaining. If we can get this E911 through, that will jump us up. Anything else, but people still have to enter their email if they want email. They'll have to enter their cell phones if they want to get the
Text
text
it,
numbers and everything else. And it's a far, far easier system.
Good.
I mean, we actually can control the data now, so.
That's good.
I entered mine, and I selected the text option, and this was like a week ago, or the day that we put it on. And I've gotten 4 or 5 alerts with the weather with the snow, and it tells you get a weather alert. So
Yeah.
it's much better.
You do have to sign up for the weather one.
Yeah, I signed up. Yeah, I obviously signed up for the weather alert. So, but anyway, it works.
And we did learn right away that the weather one, they set up a quiet time, I think they said it was, so you're not. The first couple of people I punched in, my brother-in-law, he was getting the weather alerts at 12:30 and 1:30 in the morning.
Past his bedtime.
A few minutes later, his phone was going off again, and
yeah, you can select all that.
You can also put your phone on silent for the night.
Yeah.
He was accusing you of doing something to him.
I don't know what you got into.
Yeah. That's great.
But
And the link is on the website.
It's on the
Yeah.
homepage,
Yeah.
so you can register at the homepage. We have sign-up papers here for people who don't have internet. They just want to come to town hall and fill out a registration form. And so those are the 2 areas for registration. And again, explaining the whole system, it's in the February newsletter. There's a nice article.
Which is coming out?
It comes out in about 10 days. And this issue will be mailed to everyone's home, this one special issue, so.
And this just won't be emergency messages
No,
for
it's
me, the fire
weather
chief.
and-
I
yeah.
mean, the police will be able to do it, the highway department
Yes.
can come out and Fox Hill Road,
Closed.
West Mountain Road will
Right
be
on.
closed.
Water
Yep.
main break.
You know, whatever, the water department can come in,
Yep.
and make a statement there, so people are gonna have it right out there, they'll know why they have rusty water or no water at all.
Right,
And hopefully have a quicker and better communication than anything else.
So what do you need from us?
I
No,
just
wanted
just
to
tell
tell you
wanna
us
about
tell
it.
you,
Yep,
Telling the town
Yeah.
about it, okay.
yep, that's good.
not asking for nothing.
Okay, life is
Mark
good.
that down.
Not asking for anything, but
He's giving
saving
back
us $700.
Right.
Yeah. Jane got that written down.
Yeah. Well, that's
Thank you.
good.
So like I said,
Thanks
just
for looking.
encourage people to sign up and do it, and
Yeah.
get it out there. I mean, we gave them the February 1st as the date we'd like to be up and running by, and as far as they're concerned.
Are a lot of people going to this system?
There are quite a few
Yeah,
that they picked up. And
good.
like I said, it's a far easier system. I mean, the other one, you had to have launch codes and everything else, and it just, if people wanted to withdraw from the system, I mean, that was like an act of Congress to get their name off the board. This one here, you can just go in and click, and boom, they're gone. I mean, you have people leave town, and all of a sudden you do a group message, and hey, I live in Whately now, and I guess I don't need to listen to your messages anymore. On Code Red, it was a 2-week process to get them off the system and out of the system.
The information that was compromised on the Code Red system, it's just contact information,
Correct.
phone numbers,
Yep.
and those dialers are so sophisticated now, they know which phones are active. It's so not
It was
a, not a fatal.
national hack
Problem.
too.
Yeah.
And personally, I think Code Red is one of the first systems out there, and they've been bought out 3 or 4 times that I know of. And of course, they keep coming out with a better version, and they keep the old version. And I think they've just walked away and sort of forgot about the old version, and next thing you know, their security's
Shot. Yeah.
not any good in the shot, and they lose everything. So.
Very good.
So to be clear, residents have to re-sign up. for
Everybody.
this system.
Yep.
On the
to get the
website,
notification.
Come to the town hall, fill out a form. I just want to make it clear.
Yep.
It's
Right.
a
View
banner
it.
right at the very top of the website,
Yes.
in red.
That's good to
Yep.
know.
There's a big banner, and you click on the banner, and it tells you what to do.
And there is a place to put on there, have Nick's akin
And if you
in
need
their
help,
number.
and if you need help, reach out to emergency management, i.e.
Absolutely.
Peter Shed.
Yep.
Yeah.
Senior center is a good spot though. That you
Yeah.
catch
Yeah.
A good
So-
demographic there.
Tyler, can you get that on the,
That is a Zoom feature?
is the Zoom? Where
I-
do you want me to aim it?
I think we
I'm
fit
just
everybody.
specifically looking at, you see that red thing right there, that's what you click on.
No pressure.
the conversation.
It'll be a
No
month
pressure.
before you get it out there.
Your phone will go to sleep in the meantime.
But maybe senior center. You said it was going to be in the newsletter. Or the
It's,
system
yes, it's gonna
Oh.
be, the,
Right there.
the newsletter, the,
See the red?
Is there a day that you said
Thank
you were
you.
working on getting to the senior center and having anybody who comes in there that needs help
Yeah.
with it to
Yeah.
take
Yeah,
care
you train
Yeah.
the people at the senior center, they'll,
Yeah, because they have
Handle the
computer
people.
access for
Oh, yeah.
anybody over there.
and we have a
Load
laptop, we have a laptop that, like, for example, if a resident wants to come here and do
Yep.
it online, we can help them do that
doesn't take
too.
long to sign
Yeah.
up.
And the senior center has computers.
Has
for
public,
them to use.
yes. Mhm.
Yep, they do.
That's
pretty
my point.
important.
I knew all of this. I just want to make
Yeah,
sure.
yeah,
that
no, that's,
you
thank you.
public Here's all of this.
Yes.
and
That's good.
There are a lot of ways for them.
We're trying to hit all the communication channels that we can think of to get
Yeah.
everyone aware of it and registered.
I mean, we talked to the schools, the libraries, the senior center.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The town hall. I mean, that's another one too, the town hall's gonna have their own group. So, water pipe or heating something, let's go to town hall. Karen can go in and just make one group message and let every committee know that,
Don't come to the town hall.
that the
Just
town
put
hall's
8
closed
feet
for
of
the day
water
or
in the-
whatever, you know, so it's,
Right.
It didn't really happen out there.
Right, right.
example.
Yeah. For example, yes, okay.
All right.
Good.
Stuff.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Perfect.
Peter.
Thank you,
Appreciate it.
Peter.
Appreciate you hanging around
Yeah,
after
thanks for
that
hanging
Yes,
around.
thank
the
you.
conversation.
Pretty important.
It was a,
I see you tried to throw me under the bus.
I tried getting some money out of you, and you
Thanks
gave
for
us
waiting.
$700. See that? It worked.
Yeah, net positive.
Nice job.
Thank you.
Next up, FERCog, Local Technical Assistance Project Request. The FERCog has again received DLTA funding from the Mass Executive Office of Housing and Livable Communities to help municipalities. What are the funds used for? Since 2006, DLTA funds have allowed FERCog to assist our member municipalities on projects that promote regionalization of services and local and regional planning. On January 6th, 2026, the town administrator emailed all, she's testing me tonight,
I am.
emailed all department heads and all boards, committees, and commission chairs requesting project ideas for the 2026 DLTA cycle, with responses due by January 15th. The Board of Health was the only body to submit project proposals, identified the following priorities: planning to protect public drinking water, regional wood bank development, continuing education workshops, and fifth Wednesday topic. In addition, the town administrator recommended 3 potential projects for consideration: fire service sharing, support for municipalities exploring or implementing shared fire services, building on the work completed through the FY25 Efficiency and Regionalization Grant; cybersecurity preparedness education, development of a cybersecurity training program for municipal officials and employees; cybersecurity preparedness, response planning, development of a cybersecurity emergency response plan. At this time, the select board must compile a single list of priorities on behalf of the town, identify our top 3 projects for submission.
You guys do this every year.
Yep, we do this every year. So does anybody have things in particular order?
Can you explain to me the regional wood bank?
I
What
knew you
this-
were gonna ask.
Thank you. I didn't disappoint.
No, it's a board of, it's under the Board of Health. I have no idea what it is. I'm not
Okay.
sure. I'll have to,
It's, I don't know about a region, but when a town has a wood bank, it is for people who heat with wood. So when the
that's,
town is clearing trees, it gets chopped up into usable.
That's an expensive
like the
proposition.
charity, like the
No.
charity farm lot. The
Correct.
intention of the charity farm lot, similar to that,
Until it
right?
got co-opted
Except
into.
we don't-
Correct.
We're not cutting trees down.
No.
like
Oh, we
that
are.
there.
But it was, yeah.
But chopping them into wood burnable lengths is an expensive proposition.
Right.
Well, I only know a couple towns that are doing it, and how they get to that point, I
Yeah.
don't know. If the person who's donating the tree that they've cut down on their property cuts it into 2-foot lengths,
Yeah.
and then who splits the It's not just cut into the lengths, it's gotta be split.
right? And then it's gotta be transported.
Well,
That's
Well,
another big
anyway,
then
issue.
there's a, and, you know.
So this isn't
there's
easy.
a place to store it.
Do you know much about the one below that, the continuing ed?
Yes, this is,
Paul Rain is doing it, call him up and ask him.
Okay.
health services, public health services workshops. Every fifth Wednesday they offer, it'll be a different topic. And so it's funds to continue that continuing educational program for
Gotcha.
public health officials,
Okay.
boards of health.
And let me ask you a question of the folks that have been on the efficiency and regionalization, the fire service one. That's kind of being covered through that. Is that going to come to a conclusion through that grant, you think, one way or the other? Or think it's going to need more studying?
It's, can I just jump in?
Go ahead.
Okay, so what I'm thinking is that, no, the studying will have been done, has been done through the FY25 efficiency. You know, we identified that we're going to share fire services. All right, so the next step would be, if the towns decide to do that, you have to form the committee, do the implementation, like, how are we going to do it?
Gotcha.
So to me, that's the planning.
The next step.
The next step, how we could use, if we
Yep.
wanted to, that would be, it's not a continuation of studying if we need to share services, that part's done.
Done. Gotcha. It's to
Yeah.
implement
I
it.
thought the fact that that grant was gonna go for 2 years meant that that step was gonna be in the second year of the grant.
We had hoped it would have been, but they have gone through all the money, there's no more money.
All those postcards you got?
No, it's not that, it's the Collins Center, the fee to pay the consultants, to be honest.
I mean, the cybersecurity end of it, educating some of the staff that work with the computers a lot, I think that's pretty important.
Mm-hmm.
It's
I mean,
kind of a requirement too.
Especially the employees within this building is a big one, but they do a lot at the senior center, they do a lot at the library.
Yes.
I mean, Brian Miner does a lot, Chief Palmieri does a lot, they all do a lot.
Anybody who has a device on our server should have cyber training.
I mean, what a guys
Agreed.
think about that.
Right.
That one should be one going on there, right?
So
So
we're
the-
talking the preparedness.
I like the public drinking water. I go with the
Yep.
cybersecurity preparedness education piece.
Right.
And then
The third one, the
the
response
pu-
plan.
yeah, the workshop fifth Wednesdays topics. Is that the one?
I'm
you're
still
talking-
unclear as to what that, what are they who are they educating?
Public Board of Health members, public health officials.
Okay, that's fine. That can be number 3.
I'm good with that.
So I'm sorry, say it one more time.
Water,
In priority, top priority. So
Water.
water's the first one,
yeah,
cyber second,
yeah. And
And then
fifth Wednesday is third.
fifth Wednesday third. Okay.
And I'd entertain a motion to approve those 3.
So moved.
Second.
Can I ask a question
Sure.
about the water? That's okay to have it in this group since our water district is not part of the town, it's its own entity.
I would say it is because we use the recreation facilities pretty heavily over our aquifer. I
Yeah.
know there was one of these done, because I was on a committee probably mid-90s, looking at various things, and it was appointed by the select board at that point to look at the recreational uses over there and what should and shouldn't do's over there. They did draw the water department within the conversation, which this probably would too.
Mm-hmm.
But it does affect a pretty good portion of the town that is on the public water source. So I would say yes because of that. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So you're good with that, Karen?
Yes, I'll fill out the form and sign the form then.
Thank you.
And send it back to Jessica at FERCog.
Next up, we just want to mention that the recreation survey results during December of 2025 and January of 26, the Rec Commission conducted a community survey inviting residents to share their feedback on current programs and events. The survey focused on camp and recreation programming, including safety, supervision, facilities, scheduling, and future program interests. The results have been compiled into a written report. The Recreation Commission will review the report, consider posting the survey results on the Recreation homepage of the town website in the near future. Is that also on a generic spot within the town website now, the results?
It is
of that?
not, because the rec commission hasn't really approved to do that. Like,
Can this board ask you to put it on there? I mean, I think it's a poll done by one of the committees in town. The residents should see the results whether
I
they want
agree,
them to or
yeah,
not.
that's fine. I just thought we should talk, they should be aware that we're doing that, I guess, and I
Maybe
did
give
not.
Jen a heads up just
Okay.
that you're gonna do it. I didn't get to their meeting Monday. I meant to, but I didn't get
I
there.
did go,
Okay.
and they did not talk about it. That
Okay.
wasn't, so I thought you were gonna talk to her. That's why I
Yeah.
kinda wrote this
Yeah.
the way it,
Just then I
No
totally
problem.
spaced that one out.
that's okay. So I'll ask her if we can post it.
Yeah.
Is what, okay.
Tell her we would like to.
Yep, you got it.
Next up, 2026 post-closure landfill environment monitoring proposal agreement. As this board knows, the town has been conducting groundwater, landfill gas, and cap condition monitoring at the closed landfill since it was capped in 1998. That's more than 25 years of continuous compliance with the Mass DEP's post-closure requirements under 310 CMR 19.132. Our most recent monitoring results continue to show long-term stability at the site. Specifically, there have been no significant changes or exceedances in groundwater quality, no landfill gas migration at the property boundaries. The cap remains intact and well-maintained, and there are no identified receptors at risk, including private wells or sensitive environmental resources. Given this long period of stable condition, the town is considering submitting a formal request to the Mass DEP Western Regional Office for a review of our current monitoring obligations. The goal is to determine whether the existing monitoring frequency is still necessary, or whether a reduction or even discontinuation of certain components may be appropriate. To support that request, we will need to consider asking our environmental consultant, Mr. Mark Popham, to prepare a technical summary of the monitoring data and site conditions. Once that summary is complete, we will bring a draft letter back to the board for review before submitting it to the Mass DEP. This step does not change any monitoring requirements today. It simply begins the process of asking the Mass DEP to evaluate whether our long-standing compliance and stable conditions warrant a modification to the current program. With that update, the next item is consideration of professional services proposal and agreement, the renewal for the 2026 post-closure landfill environmental monitoring submitted by Mark Popham. This board has reviewed the scope of work and associated fee proposal for 2026 of $11,432, an increase of $1,434.50 from 2025. So I entertain a motion to approve professional services proposal agreement as written for the amount of $11,432.
Ridiculous.
So moved.
Second.
I mean, it's one of those things, we have to do it. And in the first part of the statement where we're considering approaching the Mass DEP, Karen has reached out to Mark. Mark's gonna give us a proposal as to what it would cost to either try to go to every other year testing or totally eliminate the testing, which we'll have to see where the dollar figure comes in at. Mark has done this in several communities already, so he's very familiar with the process. I mean, might be a stretch to get it to be done, but if we could
Right.
do it every other year even,
Yeah.
You're
hey,
saving
saves us
money.
11
Big bucks.
grand every other year, right?
And the,
Wait a minute. Well, my question is, does this quote of 11,000 include him doing that work?
No,
no,
No.
that's
He's gonna give us a proposal for doing that work?
that's right.
correct.
So that would have to go into the 27 budget
Yes.
also?
Yep.
This isn't something that is
Yep.
gonna happen in the next 6
Nope.
months?
No.
And it might not even
Right.
happen next year, depending on the dollar
Right.
figure. He's gonna tell us what it will cost, because he's asked that question.
Yeah, he's not preparing anything. He's
How
gonna give us a
quick do you wanna
quote.
get this
Right.
done? Is it like, do you want it done in a month, do you want it done in 3 months, or you want it done 12 months from now?
That's why we're going ahead with signing the 2026
Karen's done some
proposal.
digging.
Right.
You know, when we started this process, we were only supposed to have to do it for 20 years. Just before the 20 years was up, the state changed the law.
Right. And they've even come out and said with PFAS,
I know.
they want that to go even longer. So we may be able to cut back on some of the testing.
Well,
Right.
and they already made us retest for PFAS
Right.
when what, 3 years
Yeah.
ago?
Yeah.
And it was coming from upstream.
Upstream.
It's worth a try, though.
It's definitely worth a try.
That's all I'm getting
Yeah,
at.
and we'll see what the
Try to see
the
if you can
quote
save
is.
it, you
That's
know,
awesome.
not
Good
trying to
quote.
get anything out of anything, just trying to save some money.
So all those in favor of the motion for the $11,432?
Aye.
Old business, municipal aggregation. Okay, we're gonna give you some history on this one here. Karen and I have been doing some
Just
digging.
one
Go ahead.
second. You guys approved submitting the 11,000 for annual town meeting approval.
Yep,
Okay,
yep.
No?
thank you.
Which, one way or another, is gonna get paid for, because right now, we're legally obligated to do that testing. so-
Yes,
Mm.
I know, but.
She's just keeping us
Yep.
honest.
Yep.
thank you.
Municipal aggregation, some history to start with here. On May 19th, 2015, Town of Bernardston voted to approve a resolution authorizing participation in a municipal aggregation program to pursue lower electric rates in the competitive market. The intent of aggregation is to allow residents, by acting collectively, to secure electricity prices more competitive than those available individually, while also providing the option to support cleaner energy resources. Although the initial effort did not result in a lasting program, Bernardston has remained engaged in discussions about aggregation, monitoring neighboring communities, implementation, and outcomes. On December 16th, 2025, Karen and I met with Colonial Power Group through a Zoom call to consider the potential benefits of municipal aggregation. The local adoption of aggregation in 2015 remains valid and provides a foundation for renewed action. We did reach out to legal counsel to
Yeah.
make sure that that 2015 vote at town meeting was still good.
Yeah.
The reason we even entertain this is Leiden recently reactivated their aggregate up there. I was talking to some of the select board members up there. They said that Colonial Power Group, which is who Bernardston used back in the past, Bernardston only did it for about a year and a half, 2 years. It was at a more volatile time in the electric market than it is today. Through the discussions, and correct me on anything I'm saying wrong, Karen, but our discussion with Colonial Power is who's done Bernardston before, so knows our community, and just did the Leiden. You sign contracts, or you don't. If you agree with them, agree to do this, if we vote to do this, they will do all the research, they will give us the proposal to the community to start with and they'll do all the outreach to all the residents. They do all the mailings, they'll hold public meetings to talk about it. They'll explain to people how to opt out, how to opt back in if you do opt out. This board will get a proposal when they say, okay, May 1st is the time to start, or whatever the date is to start our program back in Bernardston. They will give us proposals that range from 6 months to 3 years, and pricing for those. It's seamless to a person that is willing to allow it to come. They will automatically be signed up. This is nothing that's going to be a get rich quick for anybody. They say best case scenario, the average person will save about $15 a month off of their electric bill. I forget what they said, an average kilowatt user was between 500
Yeah.
and 600 kilowatts a month. So if
Something
you
like that.
use, Ken keeping his water thawed out probably uses more than that for his horses.
Mm-hmm.
He might potentially save more. So we're not talking huge dollars, but Karen and I thought it was valid enough that we wanted to bring it back up. Because it's such a simple process to opt out if people are against it. But for folks that might have an opportunity to save, this gives them another outlet to potentially save a couple $100 or less a year in their overall power bill. Go ahead.
Do you think that even though the vote is good from last time, is this something that we don't have to bring it back to town meeting, but should we?
Well, my feeling on it, actually I thought about that a lot, was when we talked to them, because of the public outreach they're gonna do, where every resident's gonna get mailed stuff.
Okay,
And they will advertise and hold public meetings where people can ask questions. That
okay,
if we do a good job along with them, people could get their questions answered. Because at the end of the day, if we get enough pushback from residents that say, why are you doing this? This is crazy. Well, we won't do it. We don't.
Right.
We can agree for them to do this part of the process and then never sign a contract. We can opt out anytime. Once we sign, let's say, a 3-year contract, we're in that contract for 3 years.
Yeah.
But at the end of the 3 years, we don't have to renew, which is what happened in the earlier program. Back then, it was, because I was just coming on the board when that happened,
There was no savings.
there was no savings at all to stay with. So we were like, well, why make people go through the process? So we stopped.
Yep.
They say that's pretty common. And what they try to do is they would try to have us have a start date that coincides with other local communities to go out to have people bid on a larger number of kilowatt hours, which you tend to get better rates for. But he said a lot of people now are signing 3-year contracts because they're coming in really pretty favorable to the towns.
So we would want to do that. We would want to game it where to move forward that we're not in a hurry is my point.
Right.
We would want to,
I agree with that.
right. We would want to wait and talk to Colonial and say, hey, we want to join when you have the most people joining or whatever, right?
Or when you're going out to bid with other communities.
But however that's
However
worded,
they
right,
worded it.
yes.
What are people's feelings about?
I don't
this
see a
type of
downside.
thing? It's kind of the way I felt coming out of it, to be honest with you. I mean, because we said to them, okay, what if our first contract's only 6 months? Because then in 6 months it opens up a bigger pool of people that
Right.
are going to be bidding on a bigger pie. He said, we'll sign a 6-month contract. And it'll end in 6 months. We'll give you new proposals a month before that ends. And you'll pick which one you want. If you want all green power, you can decide that you want all green power. Your savings will be a little bit less, but you still, the way the markets have been, you'll still see a savings. And he was very clear with saying, you're not going to cut your bill in half
Right.
because it's only on the, I'm going to say the wrong word.
Generation, not the delivery.
Thank you.
And you're still gonna get a bill.
You still get a bill from
Eversource.
Eversource like you do today. It'll just show a different name of an energy provider. They're still responsible for billing and collecting it. And the way Colonial makes their money, because we asked them that, is they catch a percentage of what the contract is for. That's done from the provider that's providing us the electricity. So we don't see any cost. An individual person will see no cost.
Right, and if the town signs a contract with them, everybody in town is automatically signed up,
Right.
but you can,
Opt
Correct.
out, right.
you don't have to opt in.
Right,
Once you opt out, you have to opt back in.
correct.
To begin with, everybody's in it. What would the savings be to the town overall?
Never got into that math because it depends on the contract.
We don't use enough electricity to make a difference.
We don't use 500 kilowatts of
Other
Plus,
than
we're
the
looking
hum
at
of
this whole
that
solar thing
server.
for the town buildings, right, maybe?
Right.
So-
Well, I mean, we know the power bill this past month at
It was
Powers
over
Institute
$1,000,
was 6,800 kilowatts.
Yeah,
yeah.
just about on its own.
It's the
So if
most,
you do the
that's the
math
highest
there-
electric bills the senior
Was
center.
that high because they're now?
Many
so that
splits.
that electric
Yep.
heat gets kicked in?
But
Yeah.
if you, based on those numbers, what would that?
Their
be?
oil bill should go down, but
I know they should also get a different electric rate because they're heating with electricity, right?
that's the,
Well, the state just changed that, yeah, so it should be lesser.
Well, they had to go through the savings prior to the project starting. We got an estimate from the Mass Save about what Eversource agreed to, right?
But what Eversource just did, they just started a program that started, I believe it was January 1st, that anybody that put in a heat pump mini
Right.
split in the Commonwealth that went through Mass Save, they would automatically see a reduced electric rate
Right, so let's wait and see that,
because of
yeah.
that.
But I thought the
have
project-
those rates at home,
but-
I don't remember.
I thought the Green Community Project, they forecasted the savings, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's all built
Okay.
into what you'd save in oil.
Right,
That's the
okay.
offset, what you save in the oil.
What you say
Oh,
is
it's oil, I'm sorry, I was thinking, okay, never mind. I'm off on
Net
something
bottom
else,
line
yeah,
savings.
thank you.
I mean, thoughts or feelings on it, Brian?
I don't have any thoughts. I have a lot of feelings.
Yeah, it's, I know when I first came on the board, that was the hot topic because it was time for the next contract to come. And they literally were, I'm gonna say the wrong numbers, Eversource was 10 cents a KW, the contract was 10 cents a KW. And we're like, so why are we wasting our time
Right.
even dealing with this? And the previous contract was the same way.
And basically, they'll do a workup, and we'll see something before we
Right.
sign anything, right? So we can revisit this.
So, I mean, I guess, yeah, all right.
You know what I'm saying?
Let's see the workup.
Yep.
Yeah.
But, because proof is in the pudding,
Right.
right?
And
he
then we can
says
revisit it. But
until
to
they-
move forward, we would need to do the work,
And until they actually go out to bid for this, what this community uses, we won't have, but
Right.
like he said, we'll present you with 5 bids. Some are green options, some are 50-50 green and fossil fuels, some are all fossil fuels. They'll tell you what the split is and what potential kilowatt savings is. And you can say, yeah, we don't want any of them, or we want that one. He said there's nothing.
Yeah.
To them, obviously they make their money if you sign the contract, but he said, we do this all the time. I mean,
Can I
Yeah.
ask one more question?
sure.
What happens to people who are getting solar credits? Does it affect those at all?
No, because you don't, I have solar, it's an offset. If I use, let's just say 500 kilowatts this month, and I generated 500, it's a wash. It doesn't matter what the cost is.
Or where it comes from?
The prices don't matter.
I don't get solar, but I am in a group so that I get some credit back.
And you would be one that would probably have to look at the contract that's put before us is X cents a kilowatt. You're paying Y cents a kilowatt. Which one's better? And opt out if what you currently have is better, I guess, right?
Sounds right.
Okay, so I'd entertain a motion to formally seek a municipal irrigation program for the town of Bernardston through Colonial Power Group.
So moved.
Second.
Take a quote for it.
Yeah, they give you a presentation. They have to go back and pull all the data to say, okay, the community's now using this many kilowatts to start that process. All those in favor?
Aye.
Update on the town administrator hiring action. The select board will be meeting tomorrow, January 22nd, in executive session to review the cover letters and resumes of the 14 applicants we received. Board members will use the written guidance prepared for the town administrator search to support the review. This paper provides a clear, structured approach to evaluating applicant materials and is intended to ensure a fair, consistent, and efficient process as the board determines which candidates to invite for interviews. Interviews are expected to take place in early February. So most of us, I think, have been doing our homework and going through the resumes and cover letters and filling out the
Yep.
spreadsheets. And
Have we formally accepted Karen's resignation?
No, because we
Good.
don't know the date yet.
yeah, we didn't have a formal end date yet.
Yeah.
So-
I'll present it when we have a better idea of the date.
I asked that question because I'm going to vote against accepting it.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that.
I'm sorry that you're sorry.
I'm gonna get my dog and my
I don't
car
give
and
a-
drive down to Florida.
And you got to be careful because I'm on camera. I don't care.
Other business, unknown time and posting. I would entertain a motion to appoint Frank Krumholtz to the Recreation Commission effective January 21st, 2026 through May 4th, 2026, which is the next election.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Request for filing special legislation regarding 6-town regional school district ballot question. This is Jane's favorite topic.
Yeah.
All right. As the board knows, the 6-town regional planning board is preparing to bring forward a proposed regional school district agreement for voter consideration. In order for Bernardston residents to vote on the question, state law requires specific authorization for the ballot to appear in a local election. At this point, the only viable way for Bernardston to place the question on the ballot, and not at a town meeting, is through special legislation filed by our legislatures. Senator Comerford and Representative Whips have been working closely with all 6 towns to identify a legislative pathway. They have asked each community to formally request that they file the necessary special legislation. The letter before us tonight serves as Bernardston's official request. The timing is especially important. If the town intends to hold a regional school district vote concurrently with our annual town election on May 4th, 2026, we must meet several statutory and administrative deadlines. Those include: Select Board must vote to call a special election, which will be held concurrently with the annual town election on May 4th, 2026, no later than March 30th, 2026. Absentee and vote by mail ballots must be available no later than April 13th, 2026. Ballots must be sent to the printer by April 1st to ensure timely layout, proofing, and production. These deadlines mean that if the legislature is able to act, we need the authority in place early enough for the town clerk to prepare ballots, meet mailing requirements, and ensure a legally compliant election. Signing this letter does not guarantee that the legislation will pass, but it does allow our legislators to move the process forward on our behalf. By signing this letter, the Select Board is simply ensuring that Bernardston has every possible opportunity to place the question before voters in a fair, accessible, and legally sound manner. So given that, I would entertain a motion to sign the special legislation letter of support as written.
So moved.
Second.
And just for a point of discussion, if we don't do this, and if they don't get it passed as special legislation, it will be held at a town meeting or a special town meeting. And to Jane's point all along has been, if it's a ballot question, people have the entire day to make the time to come in to vote on the ballot. At a town meeting, you have that hour or 2 window of the town meeting.
Well, and special town meetings don't even go that long.
True.
Right.
To make that vote. So
If you're late, you're hearing the adjournment.
this will allow the biggest number of possible people to vote
That's
on
correct.
this, because it's a big topic.
Plus the absentee ballots. We should do mail-in ballots for this one.
Right.
Normally we don't,
Right.
right? For
Right.
for
Yeah,
town
it's a
election,
big-
but you might think
big
about
choice.
doing it this
Yep.
time.
And then all I would have to say is, and going back to the school, for example, there's all these little things that, you know, when they talk about rural, and now we're talking about this, and there's all these little things, all these little roadblocks. I understand the legal part
Yep.
of the whole thing,
Yeah.
but why are you making it so hard for towns to get stuff done? Jesus, it's our town.
Right.
We shouldn't have to have special legislation to put a ballot out there and say, hey, vote.
Right.
Well,
What are we doing?
the reason we have to have special legislation is because the legislation that is on the book says if you have open town meeting, you vote in open town meeting.
I understand.
If you have representative town meeting, you have to go to the polls. And in the 6-town district, 1 town has representative town meeting. So they get to go to the polls, and that, in my terms, disenfranchises everybody in the other 5 towns.
Right.
And I'm not saying I disagree with this. I understand how that process works. At the same time, it's still our
Yeah, it
town.
shouldn't be that hard.
Come on.
And we still, by signing this letter, may get, not
Oh,
be able
no,
to do
this
it.
is just,
And
yeah,
if we
this doesn't mean
decide-
anything.
And I personally think that if the right person looked at that legislation, they could make the exception without anything else happening.
It's just crazy to me.
Right.
It's crazy to me.
So all those in favor?
Aye.
Sorry.
It's all right.
No, it's okay.
Town administrator report.
All right, I
And
just,
Can I do one other thing?
Sure.
That, I saw in the paper where LifePath has some money available for different kinds of projects. One of the things they had money available for was to help people with hearing deficits be able to participate better in meetings. And I know Northfield has done it and says nobody's using it, but we also have a voting machine for people who need to sit down to vote, and I don't think anybody ever votes on that. We've had to pay for that. but it's available if somebody walks in the door and needs it.
Mhm.
And I think if we can get a grant to supply us with whatever, you know, for people who are hard of hearing, and I'm not sure if it covered sight also. It's worth
I think it's a
looking
great
into.
idea. We had Tom Newton and
Yep.
another gentleman, I don't remember who it was, sitting right next to him.
Mark
Both-
Avila.
Yep.
Matt Avila,
Matt,
excuse me.
Matt, yes. Both of them have self-identified as having hearing issues and would appreciate if we could do that. So
And there have been a
if there's
number
money
of
out there
times
for
that-
us, that'd be great.
Yeah, it's Life Path, so
I got it, I wrote it down.
Great.
And there have been a number of times in annual town meeting, as we've all seen, where you tell somebody, even though they have a microphone, speak up. This is what they do, and then all of a sudden it's back out here.
Can't hear a
5
damn
seconds later, you
That's
can't
his
hear
fault.
what they're saying.
I know, and
I am not blaming you, Tyler. That
I saw him.
we've all done it too.
Yeah.
Of
yeah.
course, and we're all guilty.
Those things are heavy.
So it's-
Well, it's not just that, the microphone is here and you need to be facing it, and then I turn to look at you.
Sure,
And
it's-
I'm no longer facing.
Tyler does a good job explaining it for every school committee meeting.
And he does.
Still, every one of us that uses a
Everyone,
microphone messes
yeah.
it up.
That's right.
Absolutely.
I agree.
All right, are you
should
ready?
eat.
Yes, I'm sorry.
All right, town administrator report. Okay, on Monday, as I had stated, I attended the Recreation Commission meeting. And the reason I had gone there was to get the commission to agree to establish a hiring panel for the, to review applications to participate in the 2 positions that they're hiring for, the Recreation Operations Manager and the Recreation Assistant. So they did that. They're going to form a hiring panel, and Erin Bernard of the Recreation Commission, she was designated as the lead coordinator over the hiring process to oversee the administrative component of it. And this includes like scheduling the interviews, communicating with the applicants, and coordinating with town hall staff as needed. So basically, I've transitioned the entire hiring activity to the Rec Commission to do their own. And I just thought that you should know that.
Yep.
That's all I have.
The package that you put together for us, the
Yes.
select board, because we're the hiring committee to find the new town administrator, was excellent. I used it.
Yeah, good.
I
Yeah.
did my homework. I'm down to 3 interviews and potentially a 4th if absolutely necessary.
Yeah,
But
the recommendation would be 3 to 5. Maybe
So-
have in mind 3 to 5, you might wanna.
I picked out my 5, and I'm trying to whittle that down.
Good.
Yeah, I'm trying to whittle mine down too.
And we'll talk about that all tomorrow night then.
Yep.
sounds
So
good.
Can I ask a question about that process?
Absolutely.
I know you're gonna whittle down the, what did you say you got?
We have 14.
Whittle that down to how many you're gonna interview.
3 to 5.
You're gonna have the 2-stage interview, so you have, closed door interview with your first group, and then you decide how many of those to go to an open interview with, or is the whole interview thing gonna be open?
I think we're going to talk about that tomorrow night.
Yeah. I don't think we've made that call yet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you've got to kind of see, because you might even do, you could even do a phone interview first to
Yeah.
kind of screen out some things.
Because there are a couple
And don't
people
go,
traveling long
right, and
distance.
don't come through, you know,
Yep.
and then go from there. That's why we have to talk about all that.
Right.
There's a few options.
We're still flexible.
Yep.
Thank you.
Sure. Make a
Thank
motion
you.
to adjourn.
So move, or second, I mean.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone, thank you.
Good meeting.